Oh, you startled me. Well, welcome. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be talking about my trip to Collecticon 2025 in Orlando, Florida. While I'm not as much of a nerd today as I was back in high school and college, I still enjoy from time to time going to different cons, and since I live in Central Florida, since I moved down here for work, I'm actually able to go to a lot of these cons because Florida's a pretty popular spot for it, which is pretty cool. So this one came up on the calendar, and I really wanted to go to meet some voice actors for some properties that I'm actually a big fan of. I decided to go, and I just kind of wanted to sit down and I guess kind of give my experience of it, give my experience of the whole event and what it's about, and maybe if you think it's worth going, if you've been interested in going to it. So first of all, kind of, I guess, what is Collecticon? Well, it's advertised as a con for collectibles, so any kind of thing that you collect, basically, from pop culture, but it's 95% trading cards, so, you know, don't let any kind of advertising mislead you. It is primarily a con for trading cards and Funko Pops. That's mostly what it is. I went in, and it's mostly like a TCG collectible event, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I saw that this was coming, and some of the guests that they had, because they had about 10 different voice actors who came in as guests, and that's the reason why I went. And I went ahead and purchased my ticket. Standard admission for one day is $45, so that was for one day. And then I got there, it was about an hour and a half drive for me, and parking was another 20 bucks, so that's $65 that I paid before I even got in the door. And that's kind of typical with a lot of these cons, is you see a person that you want to go meet and get an autograph from, you gotta pay like a lot of money to get in the door for your ticket and for parking. This took place at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, so it was pretty crowded. It's actually surrounded. It's a pretty cool venue. It's a really big convention center, and it's surrounded on like all four corners by like really big hotels. It's very clear that this is like a place that people fly to a lot, and I was kind of surprised that like a lot of people, it seems, flew to this event, which is crazy to me. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So I paid for my ticket, paid for my parking, drove an hour and a half to get there from where I live. And once I walked in, what I kind of noticed is that it's very much a trading card centric event. And when I say trading cards, mostly Pokemon. It is largely a Pokemon trading card game event, basically. I was very, very surprised, and I was very surprised at like how much like people take this shit seriously. The Pokemon trading cards. I walked around the entire event just to kind of see what was going on, and I didn't really. It was just kind of a different world, because like I grew up on the Pokemon trading card game. I bought the cards when I was a kid. I still have all my cards from when I was a kid. And this event showed me that I actually need to go like look through my boxes of cards at my parents' house, because some of them might be worth some money. So I need to go take a look and see what I got. Maybe get some graded, who knows. Anyway, I was walking around, and like they got all kinds of stuff, like some of like the first edition Charizards for between several $100s and $1,000. It was crazy. The craziest card that I saw while I was there is they had this, like, it was a 1 of 3. It was either Slow Bro or a Slow King, but apparently it was 1 of 3, and they were asking $22,000 for it, which is just insane. There was also, I think it was the one that's like Blank's Pikachu, something like that, like Blank's Pikachu. And I think that was like $5,000 or something. It was, some of the prices for a trading card were ridiculous. But that was a lot of the event was just people trading Pokemon cards, and it's kind of reminded me of like a gun show or like a coin show where like a lot of people they got their like little metal briefcase that they're hauling around with their cards, and a bunch of people like are sitting on the floor, trading cards. People at different booths, like they got all their cards like stacked up on the mats, like with the different amounts, so they can know that the trades are equal. It's a lot. Like there was a lot to it. I'm really glad that I didn't really fall into that kind of hype, I guess. Once Logan Paul and all the other hype beasts got into the Pokemon trading cards, it really took off, and I'm glad that I was insulated from that because it was just kind of a culture shock. I guess it's a sign of getting older when stuff from your childhood is now like a business. Like it was very clear, like a lot of these people that had their cards around and like wheeling and dealing, like this is like what they do for a living. Like I saw a guy throw down $4,700 for some kind of golden Pokemon card of some kind. I don't know what it was, but a guy literally bought a card for $4,700. And it's like, it's just really crazy to me, like what the game has become, and all these people selling like sealed product. Like there were some packs of Pokemon cards. I guess they were from like the first set or whatever, and they're like $300, $400 for a single pack of Pokemon cards. It's insane to me. But it was really cool to experience. I'll show you my haul at the end and show you what I bought. I bought one Pokemon card, which was kind of a nostalgia thing for me. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But so the convention itself was hosted in one big room in the convention center, and it is primarily Pokemon trading cards is what most of the vendors were. Probably about 80% of them. But there's more to it than that. That's primarily what it is. And then most of it was also like trinkets. Like people were at a lot of cons, you have people selling their like Etsy trinkets. That was a good portion. I saw maybe 5 or 6 different pop figurine vendors. They had their stacks and stacks of pop figures. The only one that I wanted was Shantae, and literally none of them had it. I walked around and asked. None of them had the Shantae one, which, I love this game so much, I need to have the pop figure for it. Still playing through Half Genie Hero, by the way. Fantastic game. Probably gonna play that after I'm finished recording this video. Anyway, there was the pop figures. I found like maybe 3 people that were selling video games. They had a pretty nice, they didn't really have a good selection of retro stuff. It was kind of more of an afterthought. I found some boxed copies of like Mario 3, some boxed games. I found one, I think it was a complete and boxed copy of Pokemon Emerald. I think they were asking $1,000 for it, which is insane. Did you know a loose copy, just a cartridge for Pokemon Emerald is like $200? It's insane. Some of the old Pokemon games. But yeah, there was a decent selection. Like if you wanted to go pick up some 360 or PS3 or PS4 games, a couple vendors did have some of those. So, there was some of that. A lot of more like kind of trinkets, like the kind of stuff that you get off of like boxed lunch or something like that. Like, if you have a favorite anime or something, people were selling anime merchandise. More card game stuff. It wasn't just Pokemon. Some people were selling like small amounts of like Weiss Schwartz. Have you ever played Weiss Schwartz? I tried getting into that a while ago, but no one else plays it, so it wasn't really worth it. And there were a couple vendors that had a few other collectible card games. A lot of sports cards. Sports cards was a big one, so like baseball and stuff. One card game I had never like seen that was popular was apparently One Piece has a card game, and apparently some of the cards in the One Piece card game are like really valuable, and I didn't know that. So I guess it just shows how big of an IP One Piece is. It has a really big fan base. So that's kind of it. They also had this like giant stage where I didn't really pay attention to it. I was more so like interested in going around, but they were like calling up kids to give them like free stuff and things like that. It felt like that was geared more towards. They also brought like a group to play music on it live. I forget who it was, but they brought in some. I don't know if it was a band per se, but they brought in some people that played live music there. But that felt like it was more for kids and their parents. So that kind of is the overall vibe from the actual event. One other, I guess that kind of brings us to the voice actors, the guests. So when you walked in on the right-hand side, the entire right side wall was just the booths for all the different voice actors. And the two that I wanted were there. And actually it didn't take that long. So the two people that I wanted to see were, the two voice actors that I wanted to see at this convention were Veronica Taylor, who is the voice of Ash Ketchum in the Pokemon anime, and then also Charles Martinet, who is the voice of Mario, like Super Mario. Those were the two I really wanted to see, and I wanted to meet them. So though that's kind of what my focus was for the event, I wasn't too interested in anything else, but I did spend the rest of the day after I saw them to go walk around the thing. So first up was Veronica Taylor's booth. She was one of the first ones when you go to that side of the convention center, so it was very easy to find. I got there, so the doors opened at 10 o'clock. I got in at about 10:30 because I had to take a shuttle from the parking lot. I also, finding parking was like kind of hard because I had to go all the way to the south side of the convention center. So it took a little bit of time, so I got there half an hour after. But her booth didn't take too long. I think it took about maybe 20 minutes for me to get through the whole line because I wasn't one of the first ones there, so I did have to wait a bit. But one of the things that she's the voice of Ash Ketchum, but she also voiced May in the Ruby Sapphire anime. Like Pokemon Advanced is what that anime was. Those seasons were called. So I got her to sign my copy of Pokemon Advanced Battle, so it has Ash and May because she voiced both. So I thought that was pretty cool. For some reason, I thought she also was the voice of Dawn, but she's not. I don't know why I thought that, but anyway, she's not. But yeah, I got her to sign my copy because this has both of her characters on it, so I thought that was pretty cool. And Advanced Battle is actually like one of my favorite seasons of Pokemon because the opening, if you remember the Advanced Battle like opening theme, oh, so good. Love that. So yeah, but she was really nice. She was really sweet. Her daughter was actually working it, and she's the one that took my money. But she was sweet. We talked I was waiting because like she was doing photos with the people in front of me. So I was talking with her daughter. She was really sweet. You know, she was also, I'm 26, her daughter was 26, so we're actually the same age, and we grew up on Pokemon, and she was telling me some cool stories about like how like her mom would take her on field trips, and like apparently like she was not like, you know, I thought like she'd be like the popular girl at school because like her mom's freaking Ash from Pokemon. Apparently that wasn't really a thing, and like the kids either didn't know or didn't care, and like you'd think like the mom would be Veronica would be going on the field trips with her daughter and doing the Ash voice for everyone, but apparently that's not how it worked. So that was surprising, but it was just kind of cool to talk about that kind of thing and how like, you know, we're the same age and we kind of grew up with it, which is cool. And like, she said like Pokemon, like in the mornings before she went to school, Pokemon was the only show she was allowed to watch, which was like so cool. But yeah, she was really sweet. I don't think I even asked her daughter's name. That was bad, but yeah, but she was really nice. And then I got up to meet Veronica. She was so sweet. If you've never met Veronica Taylor, one of the other people that she voices, and I'm kind of showing off how much of a nerd I am, is my favorite series, or my favorite season of Yu-Gi-Oh! The only season of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I watched like fully, like complete, was 5Ds. 5Ds, in my opinion, is like the best season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. She was the voice of Carly from 5Ds. So that's cool. But like her natural speaking voice, Veronica Taylor's like natural speaking voice, it's like a combination of Carly from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and May from Pokemon. It's a combination of those two, but just slightly lower pitch. It's like just a little bit lower pitch, but it's close. Like you can hear it. You know, if you hear her talk, you can definitely hear it. And that was just really, really cool. So yeah. But we got up there and I was just like, you know, I was just telling her like, you know, I think Ash and May were my favorite. Ash and May were the couple in Pokemon that I shipped. Everyone does Ash and Misty. For me, it was Ash and May, and we just kind of joked and laughed. And apparently, she hasn't played the Pokemon games because she never bought like a Game Boy or a DS or anything like that. But she said someone apparently made a game for her, and so she's got to play that. But she was really sweet. She was nice. And so she signed my copy, and we posed for some pictures. She was wearing a mask during the pictures. On the one hand, I didn't like that because I paid for those pictures, and it would have been nice to just have her like normal and not wearing a mask for those pictures. I don't know if she was sick or if it was a precaution. I don't know what the case was, but it did kind of feel like I didn't get my money's worth, because like if I'm taking a picture, I want like both of our faces to be there. But I guess it's better than like if she was sick, you know, it's better that she came instead of canceling. Or and like she's gonna be exposed to like a lot of. She's probably older than my mom. Hold on. Yeah, she's like 3 years older than my mom. So you know she's pushing 60, and she's gonna be around a bunch of like you know sweaty incels all day. She probably doesn't want to catch anything at her age. I totally get it. So like I don't blame her for wearing a mask, but pulling it down for 5 seconds to snap a quick picture, I felt was reasonable. But, you know, it's fine at the end of the day. I'm still gonna print the picture off and get it framed and have it displayed next to my signed copy of Pokemon Advanced Battle, which is really sweet. So, yeah, I mean, May was one of my favorite Poke Girls growing up. She's the one that I shipped with Ash. This is definitely 3rd Gen was one of my favorite seasons in the anime. Right behind 4th Gen, but 3rd and 4th Gen was kind of where I kind of came into it, as opposed to 1st and 2nd. But yeah, no, she was great. I really enjoyed meeting her. As far as pricing, I think the autograph was $40, and then I think a picture was also $40, but if you bought them together, it was $60. So that's what I did. I bought the combo, so that was $60 for a picture and an autograph. So that's, you know, not as bad as some other voice actors, and for being, you know, Ash from Pokemon, I definitely felt that was reasonable. Because I don't really know how the pricing works for that stuff, but compared to other voice actors I've seen, that's a very reasonable amount. Because we'll get to Charles Martinet in a second. Yeah, that's one of the things that you have to kind of realize about any kind of convention you go to. The website doesn't display the prices for autographs. That's not published ahead of time, at least not that I know. Maybe actually, I didn't do this, but if the actor is going to the con, maybe they publish their prices ahead of time on their social media. I actually don't know. That's a good thing to check, actually. Okay, so I just checked Veronica Taylor's Instagram. She does not have her prices listed. She just had like an announcement video that she was gonna be at the convention, and my God, her voice is just, it's like May. I swear to God, it's just like May from the anime. It's so crazy. Charles Martinet also did not have prices on his Instagram as well, so yeah, neither of them had their prices ahead of time, which it kind of, I'm not like trying to single them out. I don't blame them at all. I don't think that's common among anyone. Because I checked several other people that were there, they also did not. So I don't think that that's uncommon, but it's just, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, when you go to a convention, like I went to this thing, I wanted to see both of them. And I wanted to get them both, I wanted to get both of their autographs. I paid $65 just to walk in the front door, okay? By the time I pay $65, well, I mean, I go up to them, the price is the price, there's no negotiating, there's no haggling, it costs what it costs to get their autograph. What are you gonna, after paying $65, you're just gonna turn around and walk away? No, you pay to get in the door, and then, you know, it costs what it costs to get the autographs. That's just kind of how it works, and it's just, I kind of wish it wasn't that way, because, you know, one of the things I think for a lot of people is when you go to these conventions, you need to be able to budget how much you're going to spend. But with these, you don't know how much you're going to spend, so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I understand why it happens, but it also feels kind of very deliberate, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna pay all this money to go to this con, and obviously they want people to go to the con, and then it's like, well, I'm here now, I paid this money to come here, may as well go ahead and get the autograph that I came here for, even though it's more money than I thought. But $60 for an autograph and a picture with the voice of Ash Ketchum, totally fine with that. That was fine. So then I walked around the con for a bit. There were some cool things. There was like these really cool like inflatables of like Charizard and I think Luffy from One Piece. There was this really cool sculpture at one of the pop stands of like, it's like a 3D printed like Tyranitar from Pokemon. It was really cool. And the guy, the owner, like, he sees me taking a picture with it, and he's like, I've had 15, I was like, is this for sale? And he's like, I had 15 people ask me if it's for sale, and someone offered him $2,500 for it. And to be clear, this thing's like 7 feet tall. It's like, it's to scale, you know? It's huge. He's like, I got offered $2,500. I'm like, you gonna take it? And he says, if he can produce the cash, I'll be more than happy to take it. He's like, I just want to get what we paid for out of it. He didn't tell me what that was, but that's pretty crazy. But that was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool sculpture. I remembered the person who did the music is Waka Flocka. That's who it was, Waka Flocka. That was who did the music at the convention. So there you go. Yeah, so I walked around for a bit, checked out some of the booths for the cards and everything, and then I went through and I did a little bit. I bought a few things. I'll show my haul at the very end, and then I went back to Charles Martinet. His booth started off pretty crowded, but by the time I got there, it actually wasn't that long at all. I think I only waited in his line for like 15 minutes. And then when I got to the front, I kind of realized why. Because he was very expensive. So at the front, like he has all of these like, he's got like a lot of like collectibles in the front. Like he's got like copies of games, and he's got like, one of the things that he had that was like really pricey was like this, the Mario 3D All-Stars like collectible coins. Those were like a ton of money. And then like all of these like really, and to be fair, they were like high quality like prints of Mario. But like I think some of these like really nice prints were upwards of like $100. and I think like the coin set was like $250 or something. It was a lot. It was really, really expensive. So I got up, and usually how it works is the voice actors have like a menu up on their table showing you what the prices are. He did not have a menu, so I did not know what the price was until I got up, and the girl, who I assume is also his daughter, was like ready to take your money, and I was like, I want to know how much it is, because I wanted an autograph and a picture, and I forget how much it was normally. I think the autograph was $80, and a picture, I think the picture's also $80, but I'm not quite sure. It was either $80 or $60. So anyway, I got them both together, and again, you get a discount if you got them together. I got a picture, or excuse me, 3 pictures and an autograph and a 3-picture set for $120. That's a lot of money for that. And to be clear, it's freaking Mario, okay? I get it. I understand he's an old guy. I don't know how much longer he's gonna be around. Hopefully a long time. I understand why they're charging a lot, but man, like, that is a lot to spend on an autograph and 3 pictures. But, you know, I came there because I wanted him to sign something very special. I wanted him to sign my childhood copy of Super Mario Sunshine. My brother and I, when we got our GameCube back in like 2004, we got this with it. My brother never played this game. He didn't like it, but it was included with the GameCube. I played it and I loved it. I watched Chugga Conroy's playthrough of this, and I played through it too, and I loved it. And I was, you know, this is my childhood copy. I wanted him to sign it. And, you know, $120 is a lot, but to be honest, I do think it was worth it. I'm not going to sweat the money in 4 months. I'm going to forget all about it anyway. But the experience with him was actually like really cool. It was a lot, but you know, if you want to get an autograph from the voice of Mario, I highly recommend that you do it because it's worth it. You definitely do get your money's worth. He's a really sweet guy. So I got up there. For some reason, the girl who I think is his daughter, like, she had a malfunction, and it took her like 15 minutes to charge my credit card because I didn't bring enough cash. That was a big problem. But she had to take a credit card, and it took forever. That was annoying. But once I finally got up to meet Charles, he was a really sweet guy. I told him, you know, about how this is the game that I had from my childhood. He actually remembered. He saw the game, and like he remembered, oh, this was released in what, 2001? It's 2002, but it's kind of cool that he remembered like when the game came out, because not everybody is familiar with like every single game that came out for their character. But that's pretty cool that he did that. That he knew that, and I told him about how, you know, thanks for making my childhood so much fun and all that good stuff, and like you could tell it meant a lot to him. Like, you know, he probably hears it a lot, but he loves hearing about like how much you enjoy his stuff. And I asked him this question. I asked, has anyone brought you a copy of Skyrim today? And he said no one had. And I was like, you were one of the dragons, right? And he's like, yeah, I was Parthenax. And he actually remembered the name of the character that he was in Skyrim, which is amazing. I love that. I love that so much. I should have brought my legendary copy of Skyrim for him to sign. That would have been cool. I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. So yeah, but he was really nice, and you could tell that you know, his fans mean a lot to him. And then we posed for like a set of 3 pictures where we did different like Mario poses. We did like the peace sign with like Mario. We did the like jumping up with your fist in the air, and then we did I think a thumbs up or something like that. It was 3 pictures. I'm gonna get those printed so I can display them next to this, which is really cool. And also like the autograph, like Veronica Taylor, I mean, she was really sweet, but the autograph, you know, it's small in the corner, very simple. With Charles Martinet, this is a substantial ass autograph. He covered every white space that he could, pretty much. So he's like, super trip, woohoo, you to superstar. And then he's like, your pal Mario, and then Charles, and a smiley face with a mustache on it. You could tell he's practiced this for many years. But yeah, that's so cool. So I got a box in the mail coming. I actually purchased, my childhood copy was pre-owned, so it doesn't have the manual. I'm gonna be getting that in the mail. I bought a manual for it, so it'll be complete in box. And then it will go in a display case, and it will be a complete in box Mario Sunshine with his signature on it. So yeah, and then after that, so that was the two things that I wanted to accomplish, was getting those two things signed. I walked around, bought a few more things, and left. I didn't buy any food or drinks there because they were overpriced. They were selling a cookie for $5. Once I saw that, I left. I didn't have any food. I just drove the hour and a half back home and then ate when I got back. So there you go. So I'm gonna show you my haul, what all I got there, and we'll discuss, and I'll kind of wrap it up with my final experiences, how much money I spent, and whether I recommend this convention or not. All right, so let's start off with what I got at the con. So obviously the two biggest things, I didn't buy these at the con, these were mine, but my copy of Mario Sunshine and Advanced Battle that I got signed, those are the big things. These will be displayed on my shelf next to my box set of Avatar, signed by Dante Bosco, the voice of Zuko. These will go right next to that. I have a few more conventions that are gonna happen this year, then I gotta go get things signed. But yeah, my childhood media signed by the voice actors collection is coming along pretty nicely. So I stopped around some of the booths, and I wanted to see what else they had. I was thinking, I picked these up, and this is a bit of a story. So I picked up these prints. These are really nice prints of Sailor Moon. So here's one, and then here's the other one. I love this one because it has the original 5 sailors in it. Sailor Moon is a property that I'm kind of like a casual fan of it. I watched Sailor Moon, was it Sailor Moon Crystal when it came out? I haven't watched the original series, but I need to. But the voice actress for Sailor Moon was at this convention, so I should have gotten her to, I wanted to get her to sign right above Sailor Moon's head. The problem was with Charles Martinet, his autograph and picture cost more than I expected, and I ran out of money. And I set a budget, so I'll have to get the Sailor Moon, I forget her name, I'm sorry, but I'll have to get the Sailor Moon voice actress another day, but I'm thinking I'll get her to sign right here above Sailor Moon. I don't know how feasible it is to get all the Sailor Scouts, but that would be pretty cool and have this framed. That'd be actually pretty dope, but we'll see. But these are really two high quality like prints on this really, really nice high quality paper, and they came in these nice little plastic sleeves. The girl who sold them to me was 12 years old. She was working with her family. Originally they were $5 each. She asked for 9 for both, since I was buying both. I talked her down to 8, so I ended up paying 8 for both of these, which seems reasonable, $4 for these high quality prints. That was fine. I stopped by a booth called, I think it's Mealy Pops or something. They had a booth, and if you follow them on Instagram, you got a free little tote bag, which is, I use these for like going to the beach or going to the gym and stuff, so having these little bags around is great. I love having these. And this is actually one of the things that they included. I want to make sure I get everything out of here. In the bag, they had a little pack of like baseball cards. They were primarily, that booth was primarily a baseball card booth. So there's this little pack of cards from Topps. Who's this? Bobby Witt Jr. I'm not gonna open this, but yeah, it came with a little pack of cards in it. This is also where I kept, like, one of the things that I really like doing at these conventions is going around and getting all of the like business cards for all these stores, because not only do I have their information to go buy stuff online, but also a lot of them have like just really cool artwork on their business cards. They're just kind of cool. So like this one, like Jellico, like that's so cool. That's a cute little business card. They had a lot of really cool, a lot of these cards are from either game shops or like Etsy sellers. Not a lot of the card shops didn't really have them, but there's also some of these bigger ones that gives you like QR codes for things to go check out for if you want to like sell your cards or something. That's pretty cool. I don't know if they licensed Pokemon, if they're allowed to use that on their business, but there you go. So yeah, I kept all my business cards and things while I was walking around, so that was pretty neat. And then I bought, well, what order do I want to go in? I bought this. I was looking around and the guy gave me a deal on it. So I did pick it up because it was a deal. But one of the properties that I've been kind of a low-key fan of is the Idolmaster series. It was an anime and also a game series. I own a lot of the games for PS3. They're among my imports. And I actually got a figurine from the Idolmaster franchise. So there you go. This was one that was on the shelf, kind of like tucked in the back. And I was just kind of browsing and the guy's like, I'll give you a deal on it. And I'm like, okay. And he sold it to me for 20 bucks. So that's what I got. Let me get a knife and open it, actually. I don't know if it's a foot, it might be like 8 inches and it stands on its own little platform. So yeah, that was 20 bucks. Which is, you know, I'm a fan of the Idolmaster, so that was pretty cool. I have a shelf for figurines. A lot of my figurines, though, I get like from AliExpress. I don't actually buy a lot of first-party ones because like some of them get like insane, like, you know, in the, you know, above $50, but 20 bucks for this felt pretty reasonable. I think for the ones on AliExpress I buy, they're like between 10 and 15, so I paid a little bit more for this one, but this one's first party. And the ones from AliExpress don't come in a very nice displayable box, so there's that. So yeah, I'm definitely not, oh my god. Definitely not angry at it at all. I'll put that away afterwards. So I got the art prints, got the figurine. The last couple things is I got these for free. There was this card game, this one booth with this card game. It's called Meta Zoo, and it's this card game that I didn't really. They were giving out like free alpha decks if you wanted to go try it out. So I kind of learned the basics of the game and played with one of the employees. He taught me how to play. He was really nice. The game is like. It's kind of weird because it's like, usually with games, like your monsters do the attacking. Like in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, your creatures attack. That's not how this game works. The best way I can describe it is it's kind of like a Force of Will game, almost, except like your creatures don't attack directly. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was an interesting game nonetheless. I'm not really going to go into the entire game here, but it's pretty cool. I got 2 alpha decks that let me, you can get a very basic idea of the gameplay with these. Apparently, I wasn't sure like the history of it. Apparently MetaZoo has been around since like COVID era, but it like went out of business, and then this is like a new company that's like picking it up and doing something new with it. I'm not exactly sure. It's got a history to it, but it's been around for a while, but apparently this is like a new alpha that they're doing. So that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool, but I don't know like if it's going to stay around for a long time. So I didn't buy anything there, but they gave some free cards out, which was nice. Yeah. And then the last thing was I found this, and it was for a good price. But, you know, one of my favorite Pokemon as a child was Machamp. and I actually found this. I wanted to see if I could get like a Machamp card that was old, just kind of like for my own like personal nostalgia. And I actually was able to find one, and it was this. This is it. So that's pretty cool. Now this is not a base set Machamp. From what I understand, I'm not an expert in Pokemon. They said this has some damage. It doesn't look damaged. It actually looks pretty fine to me. But again, I don't grade cards, so what do I know? But this is not like a base set Machamp. I actually saw one of the booths, I wanted a Machamp. The guy gives me this one. It's a PGS 10 base set Shadowless Machamp, I think. And it was $1,000. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted an old school original Machamp. And this one actually fits pretty nicely because this is a promo from 1999, the year I was born, for the original set, I believe. So this was released, but it's a promo card. There's a lot of them. And they said this one was damaged, but it looks fine. Actually, it might have a chip on the corner. I see that now. Okay. So yeah, on the back corner, there's a chip on it. But still, you know, other than that, it looks pretty good. A lot better than the ones I have in my box at home, that's for sure. They were asking $7, but the guy, I paid him in cash. He let me have it for $5. So there you go. But this is like, you know, identical to the original base set one. And I just wanted, since Machamp was like my favorite Pokemon growing up, I just wanted something that approximates like the very first one that was ever released. So I got a top loader, I'll put it in, and yeah. That was really cool. That was a pretty cool thing to get. So I did buy one Pokemon card for $5. And that is one thing that I will say, like, you know, I talked about like all of the Pokemon, like the $1,000 and several $100 Pokemon cards, but there were many people, a lot of the booths had like bulk binders. You could go in and get like $1, $2, $5 cards, depending on like what your favorite Pokemon was. So like next to the $100 cards, they had a box of like $1 cards and $5 cards. So like, you know, you can get your favorite like Ivysaur or, you know, Eevee Evolution or whatever, if that's kind of how you collect. Because the thing about Pokemon is that like people collect in very, very different ways. Like someone might get like every Pikachu, or someone might collect by the set or by type or something like that. So there's a lot of different ways to collect Pokemon, and none of them are right or wrong. So yeah, but I just wanted this one. This will probably just be a display piece or something, but I have some Pokemon cards. This will go along with those, but it's just really cool to have an old card for what my favorite Pokemon was at the time. So really happy to have that. And with that, that's kind of it. That's really all I did at Collecticon. After that, I kind of left. I ended up spending about 6 hours at the con, so I consider that a pretty good trip for the day. I'll talk about all my expenses. Between my ticket, parking, autographs for my stuff, and then the merch I bought, since Charles Martinet's autograph was like a little bit more than what I expected, I also filled up my gas tank to get there. I was expecting the day to cost between $200 and $250. It ended up being closer to like $300, maybe up between $300 and $320. So it did go over budget. But again, you know, it was something that I wanted to do, and I'm glad that I did it, even if I had to spend a little more than I thought I would. But still, you know, I didn't fly there like a bunch of other people, so I still consider that a good day, and I had a lot of fun. So I guess that brings us to our conclusion, which is, should you come to Collecticon? And I guess it kind of depends on, you know, what you want to get out of it. If you are into Pokemon cards, you're going to love it. You will absolutely love it. If you're not into Pokemon cards, well, there's not much there for you. If one of the voice actors that you really like and you want to get an autograph, you gotta pay what you gotta pay to get it, to be honest. But if you don't care about getting people to sign stuff for you, if you don't want to get an autograph from one of your favorite voice actors and you don't care about Pokemon cards, I'm gonna say skip it. There's nothing else there for you that's really exciting. So yeah, that's kind of where I'll leave it off. But I personally had fun, got a piece of my childhood nostalgia, and it was great. Got to meet some really cool people, got to get some amazing autographs from my collection, so I think it was a good day. So yeah, that was my Collecticon 2025 experience. I don't know if I'll go back. I guess it depends on who I see that'll be there signing autographs next time, but for now I think I'm good. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. Have you been to Collecticon? What do you think of it? Do you think you might want to go? Leave some comments for me. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.